Hello, excited rambling where I talk about stuff because painkillers and health issues. Yay! So, let's talk about titles. Titles. We use them all the time. American, Mexican, British, white, black, male, female, conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat. To an extent, they're necessary. We use title profiling to group general ideas and concepts. Feminist, MRA. But sometimes I think people lose concept of the purpose titles serve. They're a generalization tool. It's a necessary tool because there are as many ideologies as there are people, but it's implausible to address all the nuances on the individual level. So we have titles for the condensation purpose and bringing things down to a manageable level. But its purpose as a tool is simply that. It's a tool meant to serve a condensation and generalization purpose. If, for example, I were to consider myself a libertarian in the 2008 era, and then there was an influx of people declaring themselves to be libertarians, as happened in the 2010-2011 Ron Paul 2012 era, I might not be too happy sharing my title of libertarian with all these new libertarians who, when asked what a free market is, would answer anything that's privately owned. I remember the Ron Paul 2012 train that many jumped on, declaring themselves certified libertarian economists, and yet couldn't even correctly define the words they threw around. Had I been a hipster libertarian who identified as one for economic reasons before it became trendy, I might have taken such an event quite badly. If it were 70 years ago, I might have identified as a feminist, but were I someone that had held such a title for over 70 years, I might not like having to share the title with a new wave of feminism that the title is used to describe nowadays. Why should I give up my title because a title became trendy and with it came a bunch of randoms whose only qualification was deciding they were entitled to said title? And yet, if you identify as a feminist nowadays, there's a bunch of baggage ascribed to that based on the title, which is why many people that would formerly identify as feminists now identify as egalitarian or some other change in namesake. They had to change titles, not because their ideals have shifted, but because a bunch of other people decided to migrate to a title, and the title's meaning itself has shifted because of this influx of migrants. Perhaps this should serve as a reminder of the fleeting nature of titles and what they signify. Suppose the meritocratic policies I favor gained substantial traction. What will the title meritocrat mean 200 years from now? For all we know, it may be the name of some post-apocalyptic tribals that unearthed part of an article from centuries past about the use of merit, and interpreted that to mean eating the hearts of people they killed to gain their strength, and the word meritocratic refers to a tribe of cannibals who ritually eat human organs. Now the word meritocracy is associated with cannibalism by virtue of the general traits and stereotypes of the people that hold it at the time. Now suppose you pop out of a cryostasis tube 200 years from now into a post-apocalyptic Fallout-esque wasteland with whatever title it is you hold. Feminist, men's rights activist, libertarian, conservative, pick your poison. But conservative now means conserving human body parts and eating them, or feminist means enslaving all women for repopulation or eating them to become closer to nature, or libertarian refers to liberal views on sexual relations with pack animals, and a spiritual view on being one with the mutated giant ant spirit, which is now the dominant religious figure. The giant irradiated ant, which everyone knows created the world 300 years ago by touching a rock with his blessed antennae. Whatever your fondness for this title you hold now, are you really going to keep using it in 200 years? Unless you have a few peculiar fetishes, probably not. You might decry that these people are not true feminists or true conservatives for a time, but after being chased out of a few settlements, you're eventually going to give up. The title has new meaning now. You have the oldest claim to the title, but the world just doesn't work in a way that recognizes that kind of seniority. The truth of what feminism once meant, or what conservatism once meant, lies buried in the rubble of a gone civilization which upon your death will fade from existence entirely. It's not because you killed and ate all those people, it's not because you had sex with a donkey, it's just what happened while you were sleeping in a cryotube. You took a nap, and the world kept on spinning. So when we think about titles, let's remember, not every single person who identifies as a conservative or liberal or feminist or men's rights activist actually had sex with a donkey, then murdered someone and feasted on human flesh. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you a bunch of serial killer sociopath cannibals next time.